Difference is, why am I going to let him talk? You haven't got anything positive to say. Be quiet. He's a bad person.
The credit I'm going to give to Conor. I told you he was a superior fighter.
Chris Eubank Jr. terrified as Oleksandr Usyk joins Conor Benn training camp. He sounds unshakable and proud. Eubank said, "No matter who Ben trains with, I will be one to win." A stark warning that toughness alone will not be enough.
The guy went 12 rounds with me. He didn't give up. He didn't quit, like so many fighters have done over the past years.
Chris Eubank Sr. speaks like a man who understands the chaos before the storm. While everyone is hyping Conor Benn's new alliance with Oleksandr Usyk, he calmly reminds the world that this is all part of the theater. Training camps, mind games, and storylines build suspense, but in the championship rounds, only the truth survives.
Irrespective of what you thought, I mean, it's a show. So suspense is part of the game. Now, the performance, championship rounds.
Conor Benn's frustration spills out like a man haunted by unfinished business. The anger in his words shows why Oleksandr Usyk's arrival means so much to him. He wants revenge, not redemption. Training under Usyk's shadow fuels his fire to finally silence Chris Eubank Jr. and prove that pain can turn into power.
Personally, I think he's an idiot. I just don't like him. My objective was to render him unconscious. I wanted to hurt him badly. Yeah, it was the longest night of my career. But I went back to change room and cried. So you're sitting there going, well, this is it. No one knows the pain that I'm going through now.
The sheer energy in those swinging rounds shows why Eubank Jr. knows Ben is dangerous, but also why the Usyk factor changes everything. Ben's heart and size might have carried him once, but now every reckless swing could be turned against him. Eubank Jr. thrives on reading these openings and controlling late rounds. The mix of raw energy and elite coaching is exactly the pressure point that makes Ben's moves predictable under scrutiny.
Firstly, it told you the size difference. Eubank's a big boy, but Conor has a lot of that, a lot of heart, and that made up for the size difference. Because when they started swinging, oh, did these boys start swinging. I remember thinking, surely this type of energy isn't going to last more than a couple of...
Ben's honesty about letting emotion drive him now highlights the real advantage for Eubank Jr. The arrival of Usyk as a coach transforms that raw anger into a calculated weapon, and Eubank Jr. knows a disciplined opponent can exploit mistakes faster than ever. The fight is no longer just about heart, but mental control and strategy. Every punch Eubank Jr. throws will test whether Ben's newfound calm can actually withstand the heat in the ring.
Fight an opponent.
Harder.
It makes it hard. Why?
Because I just want to bang his head in.
So you're going in with emotion rather than...
Yeah. Like I watched my fight back for the first time the other day, and I watched it back, and I'm just sitting there going, Conor, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like I watched it back, I'm just like, mate, you need to sort your emotions out.
So...
You need to get your emotions in check. You need to regulate your emotions before you get into this next.
Zach Parker's take about Eubank Jr. boxing smarter now is even more relevant with Ben under Usyk. The days of recklessly brawling are over, and any wild aggression from Ben could be turned into calculated openings. Eubank Jr. thrives on patience and timing, and with Ben now guided by a new technical edge, this fight is a chess match where one wrong move could decide everything. Eubank Jr. knows how to punish mistakes and seize late round control.
How do you see it going?
I think Eubank will do a better job than we did last. I feel like he just thought, oh, he can't hurt me, so I'm just going to have a brawl with him. But I feel like he'll box him this time and maybe take him out towards the late rounds.
Paul Smith points out Ben's shortcut to fame and money, which becomes a huge factor when Eubank Jr. steps in. Ben's rise looks flashy but lacks the foundation of tough battles. Eubank Jr. built his skills in the crucible of earned fights, and the difference is clear when Ben tries to translate Usyk's coaching into dominance. The spotlight is on strategy and discipline, and Eubank Jr. has been there before. Ben may be trained, but experience is still king.
Get there, but they don't actually fight the big fellas on. Listen, Conor Benn's possibly one of them fighters. He hasn't gone the British title, but all of a sudden he's fighting for millions of pounds and talking about him fighting for the world title. I'm not disrespecting him saying that, but he's conveniently avoided the fighters on the way up that had the British Commonwealth.
Trying to fight calmer is easier in theory than practice, and Ben's old habits die hard. Under Usyk's tutelage, he might adjust, but instincts resurface in pressure moments. Eubank Jr. knows that Ben's reliance on emotion is a vulnerability he can exploit. Any momentary lapse can be punished, and this fight becomes a mental chess game as much as a physical battle. Adaptation and composure will decide who controls the critical rounds.
Conor's just gonna be Conor. He'll mess up if he try to change his fight. They say he's gonna be trying a little bit more calmer. His dad said he was fight with emotion. But when somebody goes upside your head, first thing you wanna do is give it back. I'm expecting the same thing.
Even Usyk's endorsement of Ben adds intrigue, but also pressure. Eubank Jr. sees this not as a threat, but a challenge to be met with preparation and sharpness. Ben's confidence is a double-edged sword. Belief must match execution. Every lesson from Usyk's camp will be tested in real time, and Eubank Jr.'s ability to exploit any hesitation or overcommitment could define the fight. This is more than skill, it is chess in motion with high stakes.
I think Ben win.
Barry Jones's insight underlines the harsh reality Conor Benn faces as he steps into the ring against Chris Eubank Jr. again. The first fight already drained him physically and mentally, and adding Usyk to his corner might sharpen his skills but cannot erase past weariness. Eubank Jr. knows the pace, the endurance test, and the long rounds are his advantage. This fight is about who can withstand the pressure and think under fire. Ben may bring heart, but Eubank Jr. brings the experience to make him pay for every mistake and missed opportunity.
And so this fight can only harm him. Because that was a hard fight, the first one. This one will be another hard fight, whoever wins, unless there's a real freak occurrence, not freak occurrence, unless someone gets caught with a shot really early, then it's going to be a hard night. Which you still have to make Eubank the favourite again, like I did the first time. I mean, so I don't know.
Adam Smith highlights the intensity of Ben's new training environment with Usyk's team and how it could change his approach. Yet Chris Eubank Jr. has faced adversity and high-level coaching before and knows how to adapt faster than Ben. The tactical lessons Ben picks up will be tested immediately in the ring, and any misjudgment could be fatal. Eubank Jr.'s ability to read adjustments and exploit moments of hesitation keeps him in control. The story is no longer just talent versus talent, but strategic execution versus raw ambition, and Eubank Jr. thrives in that pressure.
That he's always learning, and to go to the team where he tried twice to get the better of Oleksandr and couldn't. I've spent, as has Andy Levada, a lot of time in the Usyk camp. They're an incredible team. They do things differently.
Eddie Hearn's caution about Ben's reckless tendencies underlines why Eubank Jr. has the edge. Ben's raw energy and bravery can only carry him so far, and against a disciplined, strategic fighter like Eubank Jr., heart without intelligence becomes a liability. The story of this fight revolves around brains over brawn, patience over emotion, and Eubank Jr.'s ability to turn aggression into opportunities. Ben may believe he can power through, but Eubank Jr. will force him to pay for every impulsive move, exploiting gaps and weaknesses that only experience can reveal in the heat of the battle.
I mean, you have to follow the weight classes. You have to follow directions and orders. And, that's why we have weight classes. For 1 pound makes a huge difference. I mean, this guy was almost fainting trying to make weight.
Adam Smith frames the stakes perfectly for Eubank Jr. And the fight against Ben is a defining moment for his future. Ben's confidence from surviving the first fight might be a psychological boost, but Eubank Jr. has matured and learned from every encounter. His mindset, timing, and ability to control the pace put him in prime position to dominate. This fight is about proving dominance and reclaiming momentum, and Eubank Jr.'s combination of intelligence, patience, and precise execution makes him the true favorite. Ben may hope for a repeat performance, but the reality is different this time around.
Fight, and I think Eubank Jr., if he gets this win and there's a new lease of life maybe under Bomac, 2026, maybe finally he could become a world champion, but he's got to get past Conor Benn first, and Conor Benn not just hungry for revenge, he believes he can win this because of what happened first time round, because he went 12 rounds at middleweight, up in class, after a long layoff. Some people fancy Ben in this.
Tony Bellew's criticism is exactly why Eubank Jr. needs to prove it in the ring. Ben may appear technically superior on paper, but Eubank Jr.'s combination of timing, adaptability, and mental fortitude often turns theory into reality. This fight isn't decided by style alone, it's about who can impose themselves when the pressure is absolute. Eubank Jr. knows how to convert patience into explosive moments, exploiting Ben's overconfidence. The story here is about raw determination meeting calculated skill, and Eubank Jr. has the perfect blend to challenge every assumption that Ben might hold about himself.
Conor is a far better fighter than Chris Eubank Jr. is a boxer.
Technically, yeah.
And that's the problem that Chris Eubank Jr. is having. He's got this thing in his mind, he's a masterful boxer. No, you're not.
No.
I'm sorry, no, you're not.
Eddie Hearn's words capture the relentless focus of Chris Eubank Jr. His mind never stops analyzing, strategizing, and refining every element of his game. While Conor Benn benefits from new training and Usyk's influence, Eubank Jr.'s consistency, discipline, and hunger to evolve give him an edge. The story of this camp is about preparation meeting opportunity. Ben may bring flashes of brilliance, but Eubank Jr.'s mental and physical endurance ensures that he is always one step ahead. In every session, in every drill, Eubank Jr. reinforces the gap between heart and mastery, making him a constant threat in the ring.
Personally, I just think the last performance of Chris, I thought you've got nothing left.
There's no more improvement on what I'm seeing there. And I know there was a weight issue and all the build up to it. I thought there's no more improvement there.
Does that
That's what worries me.
mean you think do you think Conor Benn will be better in the second fight?
Yes.
Does that mean that you think that by him being better and there's no more left from Chris Eubank, that Conor Benn's able to bridge the gap and get an outcome in his second fight?
The conviction from Chris Eubank Jr.'s coach is a glimpse into the mindset shaping this rematch. Every ounce of preparation, every mental drill is designed to exploit Conor Benn's limitations. Benn may enter with Usyk's guidance, but Eubank Jr.'s team knows exactly where to strike and how to control the tempo. This is not just a fight, it is a calculated plan to dominate, to punish mistakes, and to capitalize on every opening. The story unfolding is one of precision, confidence, and ruthless strategy as Eubank Jr. positions himself to overwhelm Benn physically and mentally while leaving no room for luck or surprise in the ring.
And about trying to improve, and it's inspirational, you know, the whole time out there just working on getting better, improving, and I think it's fair to say pretty much camp started.
Johnny Nelson acknowledges Benn's improvements but subtly confirms the truth about Eubank Jr.'s dominance. Benn's resilience cannot overcome the calculated skill and mental clarity Eubank Jr. brings. The first fight exposed Benn's limits and showed how Eubank Jr. adapts under pressure. Even if Benn enters more confident, the story of the rematch is the same. Benn must survive, Eubank Jr. controls, and any moment of hesitation could be decisive. This fight will test Benn's heart and will, but it will also demonstrate that preparation, experience, and tactical intelligence consistently outweigh courage alone. Eubank Jr. remains the benchmark for mastery in this matchup.
And about trying to improve, and it's inspirational, you know, the whole time out there just working on getting better, improving, and I think it's fair to say pretty much camp started.
Johnny Nelson's perspective shows that even with Benn's improvements, Eubank Jr.'s dominance remains unchallenged. The truth of the first fight is a mirror for the second. Benn can only hope to survive while Eubank Jr. dictates the pace, space, and outcome. Benn's toughness cannot replace experience, timing, and adaptability, which Eubank Jr. has mastered. The story of this rematch is about Eubank Jr.'s ability to control chaos, exploit weaknesses, and turn every advantage into victory. Benn may believe he can bridge the gap, but Eubank Jr. has already set the stage to make sure history favors the disciplined, calculated fighter every time.
Do you think Conor Benn will be better in the second fight?
Yes.
Does that mean that you think that by him being better and there's no more left from Chris Eubank, that Conor Benn's able to bridge the gap and get an outcome in his second fight?
Without a doubt.
You do?
He couldn't have done any more. If he could have knocked out Conor in that fight, he would have done. He just couldn't get rid of him. And Conor stuck it. So regardless of him being surprised that Conor stuck it out a lot more, he couldn't get rid.
As the rematch approaches, everything is on the line for Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. Benn may carry new confidence and the influence of Oleksandr Usyk's camp, but Eubank Jr. has the experience, adaptability, and mental sharpness to control every round. This fight is not just about punches, but about who can impose their will, who can think under fire, and who can capitalize on the smallest mistakes. Benn's heart and aggression will be tested against Eubank Jr.'s calculated precision and relentless strategy. If Benn wins, it could reshape his career and validate his training decisions, but if Eubank Jr. shocks the world again, it will cement him as the superior tactician and the man in command of the division. The story of this fight is about mastery over emotion and skill over impulse. Who will truly want it more? Stay tuned and let us know in the comments who you believe will walk away victorious